Hey guys, coming at you with another live episode on this channel. And tonight's topic is going to be Nomad Whisperer. Remember, there used to be a show called The Dog Whisperer? There was a guy that went to people's house and he trained dogs to give them a level of structure to live their best life. Rashad, what's up, man? Backwoods, good to see you. Now, the ironic part about that, the dog whisperer, eventually, he was accused of dog cruelty. He went through a divorce, and I believe he attempted suicide. That's what I read online. So the first lesson tonight, guys, is even a guru, even the dog whisperer, the nomad whisperer, no one is, no one should be taken 100% word for word without you examining what's being said and you applying principles to your own life that you agree with and that you want to do. No one is in one sense God. No one is perfect. Okay, that's what we learn. That's the first lesson. Okay, because I'm going to break down some general rules tonight on, the nomad life and the different ins and outs and things that'll help you on your journey to live a simple life. But with that being said, I want you to remember that story of the dog whisperer, that it was a guy that he became, he fell. And he fell because even when I watched the show, when I used to watch the show, I could tell that he was a little bit too aggressive in his training, too dominant. But he did teach some good principles that I think you can apply to your life that will help you, okay? The number one thing is everyone has a need for a level of structure and discipline. Structure is needed because it keeps our mind focused. I often say that anxiety is unused or unfocused energy. Structure is focusing your energy and having some direction to your energy. That's structure. Having direction to your energy. That's structure. Discipline is doing what you don't want to do, okay? And as ironic as it sounds, when you do what you don't want to do, you end up happier. You end up happier than not doing what you don't want to do. Meaning that discipline is not beating your child. Discipline is not beating your dog. Discipline is simply doing things you don't want to do to get a reward. What's up, Jay Bird? And that was like kind of the dog whisperer's thing. Like, you discipline the dog to do a certain thing and then you give them a reward. Okay. So you discipline yourself to go to the gym and then you get a reward afterwards. You feel better. You discipline yourself to cut back on your spending. Then afterwards you save money. You feel better. So you have to focus and you have to embed in your principles a level of structure and discipline. So especially in the nomad life, why is that important? Because I'm telling you right now, with no home base, if you wander aimlessly without structure and discipline in your routine, you are going to get stressed out. You're going to feel like a lost puppy dog. Okay. So the first step is develop a good sleeping routine. Wake up at a certain time. Go eat your breakfast at Starbucks or wherever you do at a certain time. Look at your watch, look at your laptop, manage your time. Management of time is structure, management of time is discipline. So today, example, it's a Saturday. I made sure I woke up, by 7 o'clock, went to Starbucks for a couple hours, had breakfast, played around on the laptop doing some things on my creative space. Then I made sure I went to the gym. Okay. Then after the gym, I made sure I did laundry. Then after laundry, I made sure I went for a walk. So what you have to learn to do is management of time. Okay. And that's giving you structure so that you're not like a dog that has all this separation anxiety. Okay. So remember when they used to say like dogs have separation anxiety? And again, what's anxiety? It's unused, unfocused energy. So what you're trying to do is harness your energy and direct it, especially in the nomad life. Okay. And your next step is the keeping it moving mindset. Okay. Keeping it moving. When you keep it moving, you diminish Van Omatic. What's up, brother? Shout out to Tallahassee. I appreciate everyone too clicking that thumbs up button. I see someone just do that. Share the video. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. But when you keep it moving, what you do is you eliminate the mindset of entitlement. As a nomad, what you're basically doing is traveling and using shared public resources. And when you get away from, or when you keep it moving and you get away from the fact that you're not entitled to a certain parking spot, you're not entitled to a certain seat in Starbucks, what you're doing is you're creating a mindset, you're creating a lifestyle based on not deeply attaching and thinking that someone owes you. And when you do that, you have the ability to move, you have the ability to adapt. You know, and the ability to adapt is really the essence, you know, of the nomad life. The non-adaptive mind are going to find themselves in trouble, all right? And they're going to find themselves staying in the same places with no movement and getting entitled to those places and lashing out when they're asked to keep it moving. Structure, keep it moving, and using the remaining time to do something that you're passionate about in life, okay? Because I believe the nomad / simple living life, a big part of it is you are becoming more efficient, okay? You've decided that a lot of the belongings you had in life, physical materials, and shout out to my man Free to Be Me, says peace out of chaos. You know, chaos is, you know, not just me being in the public and people walking around. Chaos is when your life is out of order. You have too much stuff, and the stuff is not serving a purpose in your life. Okay. I've often talked about, I looked around in my house, and the majority of the square footage, it wasn't serving a purpose. Out of the 1,000 square foot condo, I was only using 25% of it. I was only using 250 square feet. Out of all the clothes in my closet, I was only using 20%, 80% were waste. Chaos comes when there's aggravation and frustration because you have a lot of stuff that's being wasted. And so you don't want to spend your energy and be frustrated with wasted stuff. You want to use your energy, you want to harness it, that now you don't have to divide your time and your energy to take care of all this meaningless stuff. Now you have the time and energy to, one, self-care. There's no excuse not to go to the gym when you're living a nomad simple life. There's no excuse, you know, not to hygiene, not to wash your clothes. You know, there is no excuse because now you have a more efficient life. And there's also no more excuse of you being scared to use your creative gifts. You know, you being scared to, whether it's do videos, write a book, start a business. You may fail, they may not be profitable. Hopefully they are profitable. But you have to look in the square, dead in the camera lens, upload a video or do whatever your creative gift is in front of the trolls, in front of the insecure, and live your passionate life, okay? And because what you've decided living the nomad life is that, you know, life's a disaster, we know that. But also, you don't want to spend your energy bitching and moaning and, you know, being so angry at life and bitter at life that you don't use the abilities you have, okay? Because we can go down this negative self-pity mode where all you do is destroy, okay? And you want everyone else to destroy because you've given up. You don't want to do that. You want to surround yourself with positive people. You want to keep it moving. You want to structure your life, and you want to spend the efficient time that you now have, you want to spend it doing your creative passion. The nomad life is a life of movement, a life of passion, a life of simplicity, and it's similar structure to the dog whisperer. Now again, that guy ended up being a scam artist, okay? Or he just was human, okay? But we could still, like anyone, take certain things he said and apply them to our lives. Whether, you know, like I say, I had different people in my life that they let me down, and I'm sure I let some people down, but look, get over it, all right? And take what you can, get off your ass, and live your best life. And when you finally do downsize, you finally do hit the road or do whatever you want to do with your life, now is the moment where the excuses end, because the excuses for so many years I got too much on my plate to do anything else. Okay. And I think to some extent, beyond just like the instability, beyond the discomfort, beyond the fear of living on the road or living the simple life, you apply these principles to however you live your life. But beyond all that, the real reason why people don't live, I'm going to say the nomad life, but it's really not just the nomad life, it's really their best life. The reason people don't is because it requires you building your life around no excuses. Okay. Win, lose, or fail, it's on you. Okay. It's not on your parents anymore. It's not on society. You need those things. Okay. I realize I've been blessed with a loving mother and even a supportive father for a certain season of my life. So I acknowledge for the fact that, look, everyone is born in a different circumstance. Okay, and I'm not prideful. I realize there's some things I've been very privileged with, and I'm not prideful in my life. Okay, but I'm also here to tell you is there's nothing any of us can do to change things that we have no control over. So at some point, you just have to say, look, I got to do what I got to do for me now, and some things were fair, some things were unfair, and I got to push forward. Okay. And there's failure along the way. Okay, there's a lot of failure. I mean, failure I don't think ever stops, and that's why sometimes I say it's a disaster. But I also say let's stay positive. And failure hurts my soul. So, I mean, I think about it a lot of times, and it never stops, and it can get frustrating. Fail in relationships, fail with money, fail with anything. But the simple life, again, whether you live full-time on the road as a nomad or you just live a better life, okay? Because, again, that's really what I'm getting at, okay? I mean, I put the nomad thing out there because that's my life, but it's not about that. It's about living a better life, the better whisperer life, whatever you want to say, come on. But when you live a minimalistic life, in addition to you being efficient and having more resources to use at your disposal for the things you are passionate about, you also have more room for error. Okay. So that when you do fail, and I pray that you don't fail that much. Like, I like to see people win. Okay. As long as they're decent people. Come on, guys. Good to see you, Gina. But when you do fail, or when you go through failure, you go through a setback, that you have enough buffer in life. You have enough buffer because of this nomad simple life that it doesn't totally crush you. Okay, now it's still crushing because any failure is crushing. Never forget it. I remember Andy G, good to see you, brother. I appreciate all your positivity. Shout out to everyone on the live chat, and I appreciate you guys. I often shared, like, I remember applying for a job, and even though I didn't need it, but I was just throwing my hat in the ring to see if I can get it. It was like the first remote job I ever applied for. I said, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, screw it. And I didn't get it. And I'll never forget, I was crushed. Like, after I finally found out, like even me applying for it, I said, well, I hope I kind of don't get it because it's going to be a lot more responsibility. But then when I didn't get it, I was crushed. Even though I kind of didn't want it necessarily, but I wanted to see if I could get it. And I remember my manager at that time, like, I came in his office, and he wasn't, it was someone above him that was making the decision whether or not to hire me. And I remember going in his office, and he saw that I was crushed. And he said, Sam, look, he goes, failure hurts, man. He goes, no way around it. And I was like, he's right. He understood what I felt. But thank God that I put myself out there and was willing to fail. Why? Because I got in front of a couple of executives that eventually it helped me get another opportunity for a remote job. And a lot of times in failure, as painful as it is, it propels you to the next thing in life. It sucks. I really don't have some great philosophy, so I don't want to try to like over hype failure because it sucks, period. Okay. But within it sucking, there is the mindset of you put one foot in front of the other. Why? Because when you stay down and you let failure totally destroy your hope, there's a scripture that says hope deferred makes a spirit sick. And I'm telling you right now, when your dream dies, man, it's a disaster emoji times 10. There's nothing worse than feeling like your dream died. Sometimes I used to watch the show Shark Tank. It's like capitalist porn. Shout out to my guy Pac Live. He commented on one of my posts. He said, Sam, the number one thing in the USA is health. Without your health, you can't do nothing. I said, Pac, number one thing in the USA is capitalism, baby. If you can't make money, you ain't got nothing, man. Because healthcare costs, man. Healthcare costs in this country, brother. Everything costs, man. Your health is your number one thing. But what I'm here to tell you is you need money. Never forget it. Never forget it. And, he was putting kids through college, too. Pac Live, he immigrated here from Cambodia. He's got a couple kids he put through college. He's from the West Coast. He bought a camper. I was telling Pac Live, I said, did you tell that to your kids when you had to pay their college tuition? Did you tell that to the RV salesman when you bought that camper? You can't even camp for free, man, unless you're in the middle of nowhere. But guys, I'm really another Nomad Whisperer, man. The best camping pass out there is 1,000 Trails camping pass. Today I think was the last day to get 20% off. Not that it's that much, but it's like $585 a year, and that's full utility hookups. Plus, you can add different zones, different part of the country. Now I would do Southeast and Florida. And you got to look at what state you live in. Florida is one of the greatest states to have that. But do I want that? Not yet, because I got to get an RV. Because most of the camping sites in Florida, you can't use that pass there because they're RV mandate. They mandate that you have an RV. There's no tent camping. There's no tent camping in a lot of those sites. And that's why I was looking at that small little compact trailer. I uploaded a video today. So, but there's option, guys. Options are part of the nomad life. Options. Why did I choose the nomad life? Why do I look at all these options? Because I like options. Okay. I don't like to be pinned in a corner. I don't like to be on the hook to people. I don't like it. And that's why I'm so cautious. Sometimes people say, Sam, you're talking yourself out of this. I say, yeah, I am. Sometimes you see a hot girl. Guess what, guys? You got to talk yourself out of it. And some of you girls out there, sometimes you see a hot guy, but he ain't good for you. You got to talk yourself out of it. Should you talk yourself out of it? Yep, sometimes you should. Why? Because like my man Free to Be Me says, it's a disaster. And I just don't want to be in a position in life, work so hard to get where I'm at, as far as just being free of a lot of attachments. And I just don't want to be on the hook to other people, man. It makes me nervous. It makes me have anxiety. And sometimes, again, in the midst of a bad day, in a day filled with failure, what do I reflect on? I reflect on, Sam, you're living in a simple life. When you're over there, working hard, you got a nice house, you got a nice car, you got all those things. You know what you worry about? Someone taking it all away from you. When you don't have money, you worry about money. When you have money, you worry about someone taking your money away. Never forget it. You never stop worrying, guys. And that's why you got to focus on the scripture. Don't worry. Because when you have nothing, you worry about that. And then when you have stuff, you worry about people taking it. Never forget it. Got to focus your mind on not worrying, or else you never enjoy each day. You got to get in the ocean, even when you have a bad day. Why? Because, guys, worry will steal your life. We talked about that last night. But, when you don't have much to worry about, and I'm not saying everyone should live as a nomad on the road. I'm not saying that. I don't think it would be good for most people. But I'm trying to encourage you to live your best simple life. Simplify your life a little bit, however you want to do it. Because then when you have a bad day, you realize, hey, what are they going to take from me? I got no underwear. and I'm in a car. Come on, guys. They could take your health away. And then Pac Live is right. I was busting Pac Live's chops a little bit because he got a little too philosophical. But Pac Live is right. You don't want to, your health is your wealth, and you're blessed to have it. But there's a price to pay. What's the price to pay for health? Hey, look, you got to take care of yourself a little bit. What you eat, how much you move. Are any of us perfect? No. Do any of us have the perfect body? I don't. I got a wide ass, guys. But have a good personality, man. I really tell you, there's a lot to be said for a good personality. There's some nasty people I met online and in real life. I don't care what they look like, just nasty. Like little Donald Trump in a sandbox. What a disaster. Come on, guys. Sometimes people ask me about that. They go, Sam, do you think people change? I said, I remember watching an interview with Donald Trump. He said when he was young, people would always say he's a smartass and he's a troublemaker. And he was old when he was giving this interview. And then the interviewer asked him, well, do you think you changed? He goes, no, I'm still a smartass. People don't change, guys. Same from the sandbox as to when they become a senior citizen. Never forget it. Sometimes people change, but not much. Not much. But what I could tell you is that's the core of some key things that I wanted to whisper in your ear. And I want you to remember about the dog whisperer. I'm going to take a hydration break. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate, too, you guys clicking that thumbs up button to try to override all the spiteful people that come in just a thumbs down. What a bunch of... Every time I see it, I say, you know what? I made the right decision. Because for someone to be that spiteful, what a nasty person. And they were probably nasty right in the sandbox, too. Right when they were young, getting a lot of trouble. Let's take a hydration break. But overall, again, I just wanted to say that, you got to remember that guy, the dog whisperer, that don't exalt anyone. That guy, everyone at one point, everyone thought he was like this magical guy that knew all the answers. He didn't know all the answers, and I think he probably bought into that hype, and then he felt like he had to master every dog. But you never become a master. I remember working to get my master's electrician certification, and I always had a problem with the word master, because even in the scriptures, Jesus said, never let anyone call you master. Never let anyone call you father. I don't know why the priest allow other people to call them father. There's a scripture that says, don't let people call you father. Don't let people call you rabbi. But, people don't pay attention. That's all right. Or somehow they remember a lot of other stuff in the Bible. That's all right. That's all right. But all of us are imperfect, all right? But a lot of people, you can still learn something from. What can you learn from the spiteful? You don't want them in your life. Just a bunch of negative chaos. What can you learn from the positive? That they just have a different way of looking at life. That they, you could say some are naive. You could say some are hopeful. Because when you don't have hope, when you don't have faith, I think you become totally negative. That's why I say stay positive. Is it hard for some people to keep the faith? I think so. Everyone's a different mind. So I can't speak to everyone's mind. But, I certainly, I don't take a lot of crap from people who don't take care of their own mind. Because, look, if you're not going to do the work of your life, and when I say do the work, I realize like some people can't work. Believe me, I've seen it. But if you're not going to at least, make an effort to wake up on time, to take care of yourself, shower, walk, whatever, then look, there's nothing I can do for you. There's a lot of times that people said to me, Sam, I thought you could help me. I say, you're not even getting up before noon. I can't do nothing to help you. What you want me to do? Come on, no one can help you if you don't help yourself a little bit. I mean, Free to Be Me says, you are the master of your own cipher. Damn it, backwoods. Shout out to the $2 super chat. Real talk, Sammy, most people are numb. Well, yeah, I remember that song with Linkin Park, and Jay-Z said numb. And that guy committed suicide. Remember that guy from Linkin Park? I thought he was a great singer. He sung the song with Jay-Z, I Feel So Numb. He committed suicide. And I remember the words to his lyrics. They were very powerful, but they were very dark. Never forget that. Queen's in the building. Queen, hello, Sam. How was your day? Well, Queen's getting better. I appreciate that. I was productive. I did what I didn't want to do sometimes. Okay, I didn't really feel like going to the gym. I didn't really feel like doing my laundry. But Queen, guess what happens when you don't do laundry? You get stinky basketball shorts. And stinky tank tops. No good. Queen, do you know anyone who doesn't do laundry and smells nasty? Never let them in your life. Because if they don't, I'm not going to say that. I did know a couple people that used to stink. They were nice people, but they stinked. Backwoods, I appreciate you, brother. And again, Free to Be Me was saying you're the master of your own cipher. Well, shout out to all my people smoking that medical cannabis. They're the master of their own cipher. Shout out to my guy Stone Ape. Am I mad at them? I'm mad at them. Marin 70, she said she was smoking a ganja. It was prescribed. She said it stopped working. I don't know. I used to watch some lady on YouTube Thank you again, Backwoods. You're a big supporter, brother. You're a positive person. Thank you. I was watching some lady on YouTube when Queen, how you doing today? Tell us about your day. I remember watching some girl on YouTube, older lady, I say girl, nice, middle aged, and her channel was all about Florida, and I thought she had a good channel, and she's a good person. Her family's good people, so I don't want to speak negative. At least what I see on YouTube. You never know, behind the scenes. Journey with Jordan. Sam, I hope you had a great day of self care. I did. I did laundry. I did workout. Um, did a little bit of my creative work. It's a full day, okay, and I appreciate that, brother. Journey with Jordan. I hope you're studying about being a teacher, because when you're living a simple life, part of the lesson tonight was when you're living a nomad life, there's no excuse why not to go after your passion, because you ain't gonna get any closer. If you don't have the time and energy to go after your passion when you're living a minimalistic life, you ain't never gonna have it. So, Journey with Jordan, you better brush up on your teaching, whatever you want to teach. Okay, you better figure out a game plan to get you to wherever you want to go, South Korea, whatever it is, and shout out to all my Asian MILFs out there. Send me back a couple Asian MILF Journey with Jordan. See if you could super chat them, like super chat, like me a picture of them, and go after your passion, man. Gina, 5 people in live chat don't do laundry. They don't do a lot of things. But I tell you, if they put that same tenacity, I just added 2 more because there used to be only 3. But this is one person with a lot of profiles. If they use that same tenacity and that anger and they harnessed it to actually work in their life, they could function at a job. See, sometimes I say, these guys playing games. Like they say that like they can't work. But at the same time, coming into my channel every day to thumbs down, that's work. So if they put that same energy and passion into what they actually love to do, they would live a good life or a decent life. But they can't even do their laundry. It's a shame. It's a shame. Freddie B. Me says, I can't wait to the t-shirts. Well, I'm going to start with the hoodies. Yeah, I'm going to see if I'm going to do some t-shirts. It's not easy to put together. I was on Teespring. I was trying to figure it out. So like everything, I'm trying to figure it out as I go, trying to work it out, trying to figure it out, man. But I appreciate the support and love, man. I really do. Pay doll, I do laundry. Pay doll, I mean, Queen, that's why I love you. Because Queen, you do laundry, you play with dolls, and you're just a positive person. I'll never forget you. You're positive, and I like positive people. So I got a lot of love for you, Queen, and we support you. Journey with Jordan's laughing good. Queen with t-shirts. We'll see. I'm in the works of making t-shirts. The first one is going to say, it's a disaster. I put it on my community. I uploaded a post on my YouTube channel. If you go to the community tab, you see like a post of it, a rough drawing. And the first one will be, it's a disaster, bomb emoji. And then under that, it's going to say, but let's stay positive, and smile emoji with thumbs up. That's my life mission statement. Okay, every business requires a mission statement. What's mine? It's a disaster, but let's stay positive. That's a mindset, guys. Journey with Jordan, my plan may have to get delayed a bit. Okay, I already have a teaching degree. There you go, brother. You ready? But I think I'll have to be a substitute for a year. Nothing wrong with that. Or 2 before going to Korea. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, get your feet wet, man. There's nothing wrong with that, Journey with Jordan. But I just want to encourage you to do it if you want to do it. And if you change your mind, you say you don't want to do it, you want to be a stripper, I support you. Because you got to do what makes you happy, man. And you're a positive person too, man. You've always been positive to me, so I want the best for you, man. It's just it's a lighter, better life, when you got positive people around you. It's a harder life, man. Life's already hard, but it's harder when you got bad people around you. Very hard, man. Because you can never please them. And I think, when you get around that energy, and that's all it is, it's energy. It's like, just makes things harder. Let's take a hydration break. Sometimes, like the parking lot is empty, and I'm walking out of my car, and I'm going to the store, and then like out of nowhere comes like a car, and like they like cut in front of me or something, and they cut me off. I say, where did this person come from? It's like, because my energy was moving, there was more energy surrounding me. It's like, no one's around until you start to do something, and everyone comes around. It's like, damn, it's like energy attracts energy. I don't know. It's a weird thing, man. Weird thing. But I would say, look, overall, the nomad life, however it lasts for you, or the simple life, however you define it, is basically, the general principles of structuring yourself, because now you got a lot of free time, a lot of free resources. So you have to structure yourself. It's definitely about, keeping it moving. And I always think that's a general rule of life, because life is constant change, so you have to constantly keep it moving. And I mean that, in a literal sense as well as a philosophy. Literally, I think, once every 14 days or so, you should just, go to a different town and, use your asset, which is your ability to travel. A lot of people, I think when you go just to visit a different town and you explore a new area to sleep, a new area to go, I think you get your creative juices going. I think when you get complacent in the daily routine of wherever you're at, I think you begin to live that static life again. That just, it turns off all your creative juices. And that's, it's not good. Let's see what Jordan got to say. He goes, I appreciate that, Sam. It's love. The first teaching job, I was less mature. That's all right, it's part of life. Life is full of failure. Less mature and equipped as I think I am now. Yep, you get progressively better. I've learned a lot being in the corporate America. There you go. And now self-employed. There you go, small business. Journey with Jordan, you got all it takes, man. Amongst all your wisdom, failure keeps you a little bit compassionate, and it makes you be able to laugh at yourself. I think the best teachers can laugh at themselves. Don't take yourself too serious. And I think, you do better. I think you do better. And I think you're going to do great, man, whatever you decide to do with your life. Just do you. I support you. Spring Hill, what's up, man? I agree. Yeah, debt is, debt is a burden, man. There's no doubt about a good comment. Good to see you, Spring Hill. And I think about that now if I would ever get a loan again. Sometimes you need to get a loan, but I'm very cautious because the minute you do, you take your life to another dimension, okay? And it's a suffocating thing to owe, and especially owing family members or friends. So definitely, I mean, if you had a choice, I'd rather owe a bank than a family member or friend. Changes the whole relationship. Now, I was listening to shout to Tennessee. I was listening to a Dave Ramsey podcast today, and this guy's wife called in, and she said, "I don't understand my husband. His father wants to give him $1 million. I guess his father was rich, but my husband doesn't want to accept it." Her husband was his son. He goes, "My husband doesn't want to accept it because there's something like in their past, and he feels that once his father gives him that $1 million, he'll have a say in his life again, and he'll control him again." And I was like, "You're damn right he will." No one's going to give you something, especially that amount of money, without feeling like they have some equity in your decisions, or that they have a right, they're entitled to at least know what you're doing. And what I'm here to tell you as part of the Nomad Simple Life is getting off the hook. Nothing worse, man, than being on the hook to people. And when you think of a loan, don't just think of banks. Even, like I say, helping people sometimes. I remember I helped a couple of girls, and some of them because they were hot. Probably most of them because they were hot, I'm not going to lie. But, there was some overweight chicks in there. But I remember helping this one girl, well, a couple girls. I'll never help a girl move again, never again. But I remember helping this one girl move, and I said, "I'll do this for you." I said, "Don't worry about it. So you don't owe me nothing. You just owe me a cup of coffee." But even that was wrong. I looked at that, I examined that as I got older. If you do something for someone, they shouldn't even owe you a cup of coffee. If they want to give you a cup of coffee, fine, but they don't owe you. And if you are going to put a stipulation that you're only going to do something for money, or you're only going to do something because they owe you, spell it out. Be direct. There's nothing wrong with that. But you always have to determine, is this a gift or a loan? Okay? Because a gift is you do something for someone and you want nothing back, and you don't expect nothing back, and you never will. Okay. A loan is based on a transaction where you have to pay someone back on their terms. Okay. And even something as simple as saying, you know what, you just owed me coffee. That wasn't right. Uh, I mean, because it wasn't being asked how much do you charge. I don't know. I just want to share that with you. You take it for what it's worth. You play with it however you want to play with it. But I'm serious about that. Jaybird, it's human nature. Energy attracts energy. I think that's true. I tell you, I get out of my car, I go to the store, and as soon as I start walking, I said, a car comes cut me off. I said, where the hell that car come from? Energy attracts energy. Energy attracts energy, man. So as soon as I come in, everyone's got to cause a commotion. It's total disaster. Backwards. Waking up tomorrow at 6 a.m. to go do laundry. There you go. To the laundry map before anyone get ready for the next week. I agree with that. Self-care 100. I totally agree. Guys, laundry, hygiene, working out, using your creative gifts, that's a full-time job. Self-care is a full-time job. Never forget it. If you're unemployed, guess what? You shouldn't be bored because you got a full-time job. Now you got to really take care of yourself. There's no excuse. A lot of times people let themselves go because they're working overtime. They're working 2-3 jobs to take care of their obligations. And so I got no time to take care of myself. Okay. And part of the nomad life, part of the simple life is you got more time to take care of yourself. And there's no more excuse. So I 100% agree with you. Good job, Tony. Sam, how's it going? I'm doing good, brother. Thank you for the comment on my little RV video. I appreciate that. Tony, how's the music going? How's your life going? Jesse, I took a loan to day trade. I've been down that road from stepmom. Worst move. Well, Jesse, thank you for sharing. I've been there. I always tell you guys, I lost the most money ever day trading. But again, I'm not against it. Anyone who's doing it, and I'm not against it at all because I never wanted anyone to be against me. Everyone should be able to do them. And sometimes, hey, look, you may be able to make money, and I'm not against it, and I'm not going to speak against it. But I just also want you to know that, you're not alone, and I appreciate you sharing that. And, like I say, tell you guys, everyone goes through failure. Dave Ramsey preaches financial wisdom. He went through major failure, bankruptcy. Okay. And, he was a millionaire. So was Trump. So was a lot of successful people. I look at the successful people, and many of them have failed tremendously, but they have the gift of gab, and they know how to play the system. And when I say play the system, it's not always like manipulative. Certainly there's some, but everything in life is a system. Okay, everything. And no matter what you call it, capitalism, socialism, there's always going to be a system. And so, your job is to play the system without being like manipulative. And there's a way to do it. Like Milano would always say, there's a gray area. But Jesse, thank you for the tip. And I totally understand. I've been there. And, again, everything in life is risk. So, starting your own business is risky. Trading is risky. So I don't want to say I'm against it. But I just want to share that, I'm in the same boat where I can't say that I've made more money than I've lost in investments. Not true. Any money I've ever been able to get ahead with all comes from working a regular conforming job. Without that, I'd be totally destitute. So that's why I always tell you guys, like, I know a lot of people who do get in this nomad life, they're burnt out from working a regular job, and I totally understand. And I do have that fear a little bit in the back of my mind, that, if I should ever lose my job, what do I do next? Because I really don't want to go back to jobs I hate. But just be mindful of, if you want to stay in the workforce as long as you can. And if you can make a living, if you can earn a living using your creative gifts, I'm all for it. Whether it's like my man Tony who plays the saxophone, whether it's the gig economy, whatever you want to do for you. There's no one answer, right? But I just, again, I want to see you do well. And that's just my general statement to everyone. But thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Backwoods, both for the tip. I really appreciate that. Very nice to you both. Journey with Jordan. There's a scripture that says, and I also want to say, Jesse, too, I know you're going through some things, so please don't you feel obligated to tip, because if you're going through a hardship, I want you to take care of yourself, okay? So, like I say, regardless of the super chats, I try to read each and every comment. So, But I want to make the statement that if you're hurting in life, if you're going through a tough time, I don't want to be manipulative to you, to anyone. I want you to take care of you, okay? Because I believe that's the right way to do it, especially when you're really in a bad shape, okay? And I want you to make that a habit so that, not that you become selfish, but I don't want to see anyone, always giving and never taking care of themselves. So I appreciate every gesture of kindness, whether it's a comment, thumbs up, or super chat. And I'm direct. Look, I would love to earn a living off my passion, but not at the expense of being manipulative, okay? So when you're hurting in life, and specifically I'm speaking financially, I'm not saying you'd never give, but what I'm trying to tell you is take care of yourself, do what you need to do for yourself, because I don't want to see anyone destitute, and I don't want to see anyone on the hook to other people. And that's how I feel, and I'm glad I was able to share that. Thank you. Journey with Jordan. Bad Queen. What are you talking about? Nobody puts baby in a corner. You damn right, Queen. Journey with Jordan. There's a scripture that says the borrower is slave to the lender. Yeah. Amen. Emoji to that. Yeah, it's true. I mean, Dave Ramsey always says it. And as I get older, I see that there's a lot of wisdom in that, And again, I think that's a little bit why I'm frozen in simplicity, that I don't want to buy a home base, and if I do buy a home base, I want to be able to buy something maybe that's all cash, so it'd have to be a lower price. But again, it can't be, look, most things in life are very hard to pay for cash for everything, and you have to mitigate some risk, and you have to keep cash reserve. But I definitely think you should focus on that. Debt is dangerous. I agree with that. Backwards. Real talk, Sammy. Every Sunday I do that. That's my routine. It's good. Good job, brother. It's good to have a routine. It's good to be free flowing. It's good to be creative, but you gotta have structure. Okay, that's part of that whispering life. Good job, brother. Queen. What did you have for dinner, Sam? I had fresh market salad with coconut shrimp. Actually, I had coconut shrimp in there, and then just a salad with fixings: onions, tomatoes, cucumbers. And then I had Starbucks and a blueberry oatmeal tonight before I went live. What'd you have, Queen? Yeah. Backwood says, yeah, everyone is different. It's true, everyone's different, guys. And the whole point about that is it's okay for people to be different, but it's not okay for people to bring their negative energy onto you. Like, look, when I see someone is too different from me, I don't try to change them, because again, I think people are pretty much born who they are. Like, Donald Trump was the same in the sandbox as he is in the president's office. So there's some nasty people online. They were nasty when they were young. So they're not fooling me. And there's no amount of therapy that can help them. Now, do I think people can change? Yeah, but I'm not going to be around to see it. Because as soon as someone shows you who they are, believe them. And some people may not like me. They say, oh, I see who he is. I don't like. And they should move on with their life. Okay. They shouldn't be spiteful and come back in night after night and wanting me to change to be who they want me to be. I'm not playing that game. Because I don't expect you to change for me, and I ain't going to change for you. So we got two options, guys. Either accept each other or move on. Okay? Period. Good job. Yeah. Tony, Sam, I'm good. I can't complain. Good job, brother. I like that positivity. But unfortunately, I found out some troubling news. The company that runs the studio I use is closing, so I have to find a new one. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Everything changes in life. I know. Like, there was one part of Florida, I remember at one time I was looking at moving there just because they had like one of the best Starbucks in Florida. This is when I first started visiting Florida. And I remember I came back, like when I was getting closer to move down to Florida, I came back to that area and that Starbucks had closed. I said, oh, I was getting ready to move to this area just for that Starbucks. But everything changes, man. But Tony, what will never change is your gift and your passion for playing music. Now, whether you suck or whether you're Bill Clinton on that saxophone, whatever it is, brother, I hope you get a lot of Monica Lewinsky's. But not in a way where you cheat on your wife, but just in a way where you get a lot of fans, all right? Because I want you to live a great life, Tony. Stay positive. Queen, your health is your wealth. Queen, 100-degree emoji. Tony, Queen, how you doing? Queen, great, Tony, and you? Queen, laughing. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Good job, Queen. Tony, I'm mildly annoyed. I don't want to drive 2 hours to record. I can understand that. Acoustics suck in my house, or I'd record myself. I hear that. Queen says, okay, wow. Journey with Jordan. Even if you buy a home base in cash, you still have property tax. That's true. Possible HOA is true. Beholden to the government, true. Society, one way or another. Yep. And look, we're all intertied to community. Because even now, even if I have no home base, I got to spend more in gas. Okay. Campground fees cost, and I'm obligated to their rules. And so I put more wear and tear on my car, so I'm going to go see the car mechanic more. So we all pay a price. Now, I won't lie to you, I may pay a little bit less of a price with no home base, and that's why I'm cautious to get one. And that's why I do want to recommend, again, for everyone with the Nomad life, look at the 1,000 Trails Pass. But for a lot of those, it's basically for $1,000 or less per year, you can camp with full utility hookups. But you're going to need an RV because many of those, at least in Florida, many of those campgrounds do not allow tent camping. So you're going to need an RV. The main thing too I think about a home base is like an insurance policy. Sometimes on the road you worry about if you get sick or if you get hurt. You can do a hotel, you can do an Airbnb, and that's what you probably have to do. But there's a little bit of a security blanket to have some type of home base. But again, you don't need one. I mean, 2.5 years without one. But I want to make the point. I think you make a good point, Journey with Jordan, but I'll just add to that is that we're always beholden to everyone in one way or another. Whether it's campgrounds, whether it's paying more in gas or visiting the mechanic more. But I do agree that this is the most simple, free life possible. But nothing is 100% perfect. So that's true. Let's take a hydration break, then we'll go next comment. Milano, I see Milano in here. Dennis, Sam, your message is showing up more and more in my life. Good. And online and off. That's a blessing. This is very positive news. It is for me too. Thank you, man. Dennis, I appreciate that. Tony, there is a place. It's truly a blessing. They're in his place. It's truly a blessing. I'm not mad at that. Milano, hey, what's up, man? Shout out to you and Emilio. Journey with Jordan. Milano, I talked about the dog whisperer today. I know you used to like him. Did you know he was charged with dog cruelty and he committed attempted suicide after he got divorced? Total disaster, man. I knew that guy was too rough on those dogs, man. Like his whole demeanor was, and I bet you he was like that in the sandbox. But let's stay positive. Journey with Jordan. Sam, maybe you could buy a Starbucks one day. That I'm looking at ways to figure out to generate revenue, to again fulfill my final dream. I mean, I'm in phase 3. What's phase 3? Phase 3 is to get multiple sources of revenue, so that I can retire early and live off my passion. I'd still be working, but I'm doing things I love. But a Starbucks would probably be too much of initial investment. But let's continue reading. I don't know if they sell franchises, though. They probably do, but I'm sure it's big money. I didn't look into how much, but I'm sure it's a couple 100,000 at least. Good thought, though, and thank you for the suggestion. Spring Hill. Nothing about life is easy. I agree with that. That's why I say it's a disaster. But keep God in your heart. I agree with that also. That's why I say stay positive. And he will guide you and never leave you. Damn it, Spring Hill. We're on the same page. Good job. Coach 9500. What's up, man? Sam, I was very impressed with that small camper. I thought it was cool too, man. And 9,000 offering, I think you can get down to at least 7, if not 5. I would offer 5. 7 would be the max I would pay for that. But the only reason I would get that would be to get a 1,000 Trails Pass. But I don't know if I want to tow something. But I like to know my options, and I want to show you guys the options to live as a nomad, to live on the road. So there's different options out there. Because, the good thing about the 1,000 Trails and staying at campgrounds, you got a safe, legal place to park every night. Now, you can only stay for 14 consecutive days. Then you got to get out of the system for 7 days. Definitely with Encore resorts. So, but even if 7 days you had to pay for a campground, let's say the average campground's $30 a night here. That's what, like $225 a month in rent. And the rest of the year, the rest of the month, you have full utility hookups. So now you got all utility hookups. So you got all the comforts of home. And look, there's ways to do this. I'm just still drawn back to where I'm at now because this is the most simple. Anytime I add something, it makes things a little bit more complex. I gain some comfort, but it's a little more complexity. So I'm like kind of conflicted, and that's why I'm like frozen in simplicity. Oh, Carol's in here too. We're gonna get to you, Carol. Where was that? Oh, that's Coates. He says he was very impressed with that small camper that you showed earlier today. Thank you. On a video, that camper would be because it's small and lightweight. Well, that's why it costs a little bit more. Some people say, well, that's a lot of money for something you can't stand up in, but it's because it's so light. And it's like in a little niche. And that's why they cost a little bit more. That's true. Carol, what's going on, Carol? Shout out to Canada. And she goes, "Hey Sam, you started saying that you watched this lady on YouTube in Florida." Oh yeah, I got off track. I think you might have lost your train of thought. Thank you for reminding me because you didn't say that. Thank you about that. So there was this lady I used to watch on Florida, and she used to make a lot of videos about living in Florida, how to do it, just basic stuff. She was a nice lady too. She's still on here. Um, but then she stopped making new videos because I think she had health issues, or she's getting older, combination of getting older and health issues. And now she's starting like a medical marijuana channel. She used to be subscribed to me, but I think I said too many rough things about, masturbating in a sock. I think she got offended. I just start cursing. But I respect her. But the bottom line is, so I think her health, or she's having some issues, and she's now starting a YouTube channel about medical marijuana in Florida. And so, look, I'm not against it. I think for some people it may be some benefit compared to some prescription drugs, depending on what your physical issues are. But that was this is my train of thought. We were talking about health. We were talking about medical marijuana. And so, she was a straight-laced person, straight-laced. Not someone like psychopath. But you never know. She could, just like the dog whisperer was a psychopath. You never know. But that was what I was thinking. Thank you, Carol. It's good to see you. Shout out to Canada. Sam, you skipped me. Uh-oh. Gotta go back. Who would I miss? He goes, "Hey, Sam, did you hear about the Oh, I didn't see this. Okay. He goes, "Hey, Sam, did you hear..." Guys, if I ever miss you, don't be offended. Just tell me, and I'll go back and read it. He goes, "Hey, Sam, did you hear about the universal fire?" No. "Most masters of famous musicians are gone this way. Why I keep my masters in a climate-controlled place. Luckily for me, I know someone who lets me keep them." No, I never heard that. I heard the Vlad TV interview where basically Puffy put $1 million hit on Tupac, and that's one of the reasons why he's gone. Keefe D basically spilled his guts on a Vlad TV interview. And he said, look, he got locked up. Suge got locked up. Puffy's the only one still alive. Puffy put $1 million hit on Pac. Now, Pac died because he was too prideful and got into a fight he shouldn't have got. But they were Crips. And Puffy gave $1 million to one of the head of the Crips to kill Pac and Suge. So what I could tell you is, man, it's a shame. Allegedly. But that's what's out there. But thank you for sharing that, brother. You got to keep your masters, or else, yeah. I know a couple people that got into the music industry and they didn't have any rights, as far as with their masters, and then totally killed their revenue. Music is a tough gig, but you got to do your passion because that's what you love to do. That's what keeps you ticking. So let's continue to read. Thank you, Tony. I love you, brother. Keep doing your gift, man. Pettit Queen says, "I remember that guy. Wow. Did he commit suicide? He tried. I don't know if he was successful. Google it. Google the dog whisperer. He's a total disaster, Queen." And he goes, "Yes, I know people that don't do laundry." Queen, isn't that nasty? But I'm not mad at them. Queen, they don't bathe either. I'm not. Well, I know a couple people. They're nice people. Some of them are nice people, so I don't want to say all of them bad. I'd rather hang out with someone that doesn't do laundry and bathe than someone who's just negative and spiteful. So that's true. Journey with Jordan. Starbucks plus Planet Fitness, this is my lifestyle. Plus UPS store, yes. Plus Publix, yes. You can have an ultimate Nomad strip mall. That's a good point. Now, there's a lot of strip malls that have Publix, a Planet Fitness, and sometimes you get UPS store in there too. They already got them. But I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was saying, "Sam, I know you're trying to figure out how you could retire early and something." He goes, "But you're striking a chord with certain people, so there's got to be something that there's a group of people that need some type of solution. So you got to think about what can you offer to solve some problems." That's the only thing I could figure out is throw away all your underwear. But let's continue to read. Swan Oto's back. He hasn't got totally offended, brother. I love you. He goes, "Just got home from my second job as a host." Well, I'm not going to say anything sarcastic because I don't want to hurt you, brother. I love you, and I want the best for you. But I can think some funny things to say about a host. I don't know what you were hosting, but I love you, man, and I don't want to hurt you. And you're a young guy. So, Swan, stay positive, brother, and I appreciate you leaving me a comment, and I respect the fact that you're working hard and you're cycling your ass off. And what I can tell you, brothers, I love you. Stay positive. Tony, what? Don't do laundry? Yuck. Yeah, I'm not mad at them. Milano, Sammy, Latin guy, yeah, I think he was Mexican. Milan Caesar. But he basically, they said he was charged with dog cruelty, allegedly, and he got a divorce, and then I think he tried to commit suicide. So he used to be the dog whisperer, but then just basically turned into a dying dog. So that was always the first message: never put anyone on a pedestal, never call anyone master. But there are still general principles that he shared. I remember him always sharing that a dog needs a level of discipline. And we as humans need a level of discipline. Now, when I say discipline, I don't mean like Donald Trump yelling at you while you're on a treadmill and he's fat as hell. He got like 3 necks. Or Dave Ramsey sitting over there barking at you about you got to get out of debt. And he goes, I want you to have a cabin by the lake. I got one. I want you to have a nice car. I got one. He goes, but you can't have one yet until you pay on debt. It's a disaster. But what I'm trying to tell you is, I don't know, it's a disaster. But yeah, that guy, Queen, my day was great. Damn, Queen, I love you. Jesse O, Sam, after downsizing for so long, I have a hard time spending money on material goods. Well, that's a good thing. I'm in the same boat. I got like alligator arms when it comes to taking out money to buy something, and that's a good thing, guys. Especially when you're single and you ain't got no kids. There was I forgot what commercial, but it was about something like where a guy had like alligator arms because he was so cheap. That's true. Queen didn't do much. Mom, not mad at you, Queen. Journey with Jordan at Swan. He's in the house. Yeah, he's back. Queen, thanks, Sam. Tony, yeah, look it up. It's sad. It broke my heart when I heard it from ZZ Top to Cab Calloway. They're all gone. So now future generations won't hear these artists will clarity, just cheap CD rips. Well, that's probably true. Okay. I appreciate you sharing, brother. Milano. Sammy, that was Caesar Milan. Yeah, he was a disaster. The dog whisperer. Yeah, we can learn some things, but he was a disaster. Yeah, if you don't let your dog sleep in the bed, you're not my friend. Journey with Jordan's laughing good. Milano. Sammy. He had a new YouTube channel, The Ranch. Nah, he's a disaster. I don't like him, man. But we can learn something from him. Dennis, that was funny. Journey, I'm thinking of starting a new business, overnight storage. Well, storage unit, $1 billion business, where you don't have much to store, but could really use a safe place to park. Well, good luck with that. Now, I thought somebody used to mention that. I think it was my brother BVT from South Carolina. But I used to say the reason I wouldn't do it is too much liability. And some municipalities have city ordinances that you can't sleep in a car. And you're going to need to have porta-johns there. And you're going to be liable. Like, there's a lot of good nomads out here. But I'm going to tell you something, too. I see a lot of bad nomads, a lot of people with mental or addictions, mental problems or addictions. And let me tell you something. If you run that parking lot, it's like running a club. You know how many clubs I went to when I was young that they'd be open for like a year max, and then there'd be a shooting and too much liability, and they have to close down a strip club or a regular club? Because eventually every good club, there becomes riffraff, and something ruins it, and the club shuts down. Grand opening, grand closing. So I like your idea, but you're going to run into a lot of obstacles. I don't want to deter you. Liability and getting past regulation, very tough. Now, if you run a coal business like Carl Icahn or something like that, you just talk to Trump, say, look, deregulate that, and you get away with it. But if you want to run like a nomad storage place, I don't think it's going to work. But good luck. I love you, Dennis. I want the best for you. I want a spot if you do it. Swanor, the travel trailer was cool, thank you. And simplistic, that's why I liked it. That's a pretty, accessible price. I agree with that. For a new unit, I agree, brother. And again, the main reason I did it is because of the 1,000 Trails Pass, which is basically... You spend $1,000 or less, a little bit under 1,000. You get a year camping pass, and it depends what state you live. Like Florida is a great state for it, and you can just go to campgrounds unlimited for $1,000 a year with full hookups. But you have to move every 14 days, and for 7 days you have to be out of the system. So that means for 7 days you'd have to pay for a campground or a boondock. But that's not bad. Even if you did that, it's only like $200 a month. So what I could tell you is that's a great deal, man. Especially if you got someone like Milano who's already got an RV. Milano, why don't you have the 1,000 Trails Pass, man? I would get that. You would spend like $700 and you got full hookups for the whole year. There's a couple. There's one in there's not that many in South Florida. There's 2 though by Miami. There's 1,000 Trail. Well, no, there's a few. There's one in Fort Lauderdale. There's one in Pompano Beach. There's one in the Miami Everglades, and there's a couple in Key West. And this time of year in the summer, you can you can reserve those no problem because it's not tourist season. So Milano, you and Emilio should look into that, Tony. Man, I've seen jazz clubs close for the same reason. Yep, you know what it is. Or lose a liquor license. Yep. And that's the nobody comes in anymore. That's so true. Yeah, I don't want to deter Dennis, but that's true. There was a guy that used to watch my YouTube channel. He was living full time. I think I have his Mitsubishi in L.A., and he was parking at a Walmart, and he made a video one day that he woke up and there was police in the back, but they were there because like some other homeless guy was stabbed some other guy. And he said Walmart basically said, "Look, no more parking here," uh, because of that issue. True. Um, where are we at? Journey with Jordan. Do you squeak when you walk, Sam? Oh, why do I do that? I don't know. Maybe I do. But I put baby powder between my legs so they ain't rubbing together. Journey with Jordan. At Dennis, I like it. Milano, Sammy, I got a new Samsung phone. Good job, brother. Phone is your best investment because it's your number one resource. Congratulations, Milano. Someone give me the telephone emoji and a thumbs up emoji. And Tony goes, man, I've seen... Oh, yeah, I've read that. For the same reason, yep. Journey with Jordan, that's true. I also don't want to park next to a bunch of other people sleeping in their cars. Well, I do that at truck stops, Walmarts, and sometimes rest areas. And I feel safe overall. So I'm not against it. And I think it's a good idea, but it's just a lot of liability. Okay? And you got to be careful if you are owner. But, if you could figure something out, and if you got the strength and the passion for it, go for it. And I remember Milano's friend Emilio, he did a video about some place in Florida. Like, there was some truck stop that actually did that. It was like $5 a night. No hookups, but you could basically rent $5 a night because it was a truck stop. I guess it was like already zoned for that. So there are some places that actually have something like that. That's not bad. $5 a night? That's not bad. Journey with Jordan says, yep, that's true. I also don't want to park next to a bunch of people sleeping in their cars. That would make me nervous. I'll stick with Dave Ramsey's parking lot until he finds out, until he starts charging me. There you go, brother. Milano, Sammy, I called some RV place. What'd you call? Journey with Jordan, I was making a joke about your cheapness. Oh, okay. So tight you squeak when you walk. Well, it's true. I'm not gonna lie. Gotta learn to laugh at yourself, guys. He's right. He's 100% agree right. He's good job. Milano, for prices, they only allow 10 years or newer. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess it depends. Now, the 1,000 Trails, I don't think you have to be 10 years or newer. You have to look at what campground. Just like some campgrounds do allow tent camping, some don't. So I would call and check. That even with that small micro trailer, somebody brought up to me, you should make sure that the park doesn't have restrictions on how small it has to be, or that it has to be self-contained. Because technically that small micro trailer that I did a video today, it's not self-contained, meaning it doesn't have a bathroom and a shower and a kitchen all enclosed. There's a kitchen outside and there's no bathroom. So some may not allow that. That's true. So that's a good point. You got to check the rules. But still, I think for you, you got a pretty new RV, you and Emilio, so you should be fine. Swanotto, I don't have the newest phone. I have an iPhone 7 Plus from 2016, but I'm waiting for the 2020. I'm not mad at that. iPhone, because I heard it will be a big upgrade. I'm not mad at that. The phone is a great resource. Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I definitely agree. Well, we're in agreement with this, Swan. Tony, Sam, I think I can get that RV for 8K. Oh, definitely. For 8K, definitely. I definitely think you could, brother. But you got to have something to tow it. Now, again, my Jeep Renegade will tow 2,000 pounds. I think most small SUVs will tow that. And you just have to, know that now you have a little bit more restriction on where you go. So think about if I bought that, I have a little bit less flexibility, but I would have more options with regards to campgrounds. The main reason I was getting it, or thinking of getting it, or still am, is because of the 1,000 Trails Pass. I've been really looking into that, and that makes a lot of sense if you have an RV. If you don't, no. Journey with Jordan. There's a lot of discrimination in the RV community. Somewhat. But it's just, some rules are there to keep, craziness from happening. But it could be. It depends. Tony, I'll tow it with my Bronco. Yes, no problem. Yeah, I agree, no problem. All right. Guys, I think I got to all the live comments of Journey with Jordan. Towing puts more wear and tear on your transmission. I totally agree with that. I've heard also. I agree. Yeah, there's definitely negatives. I agree with that, Journey with Jordan. Especially if you're going to tow, almost maximum capacity, which I would be doing. Because if my max capacity is 2,000 pounds and I'm towing 1,500, that's almost max. And I don't think you want to tow more than 90% capacity. So I would agree with that. It's a good point. Milano, Sammy, some places they only do not allow 10 or 12 years old. Yeah, that's true. And definitely not school buses or cargo van restrictions. Well, let me tell you this. I saw RV park by the ocean that allowed a school bus conversion. I saw it today, and a cargo van. So there are some that don't, but there definitely are some that do. And most state parks will allow you to tent camp, so you can be in anything. But some of the private ones, you are right. But I saw one today. It wasn't glorious, but it was one right on the ocean for $700 a month, full hookups. That's utilities included, and you could pretty much park anything there that has hookups. General Jordan, Tony is rolling around like, oh yeah, I was thinking about that when I heard the Bronco. That's true. Tony, what can I buy a school bus? You could, but it's too big for me. But I see some people with the school buses. I've seen a few people, so it's definitely out there. All right, guys. Well, I gave it the best I got, and I appreciate you guys giving it the best you got. Tony, how much for a bus could I take the whole clan camping? I don't know. I don't like to be around a lot of people, so I haven't priced them out. I'm trying to buy the smallest thing you could buy. You're trying to buy the biggest. We on different pages on that one. But I love you, Tony. And I love everyone. I appreciate everyone. Journey with Jordan, thumbs up to you, brother. Keep doing your thing, man. Go after your passion. That's part of this nomad life. Go after your passion, brother. And don't take any shit from anyone. Don't take it. Don't let people feed into your insecurity, man. One-seater school bus. Yep. See, that's the type of mindset I like. Yep. Good job. And thank you, Backwoods, and thank you, Jesse O, for the super chats. Thank you for everyone who clicked the thumbs up button, shared the video, and just go out there and live your best life, man, with good people. And if you can't find any good people, live it alone. Because guess what, guys? When you're living a vida loca, the right people will come by you. And if they don't, you're living a vida loca. Right? You don't need too many people. Milano, Sammy, I'm still playing with the phone. Yeah, it takes about 2 weeks to figure out a new phone. That's why most people don't upgrade, because it's very mentally painful to adapt to change. But part of this nomad life is you have an adaptive mind. So Milano, you migrated from Cuba. You started your own business. You worked to collect full Social Security. Brother, you can figure out a phone. You got more life experience than most people will ever have. So I'm very proud of you. You have what it takes. It just takes time, but keep playing around with it. I remember I was learning computers, and I remember someone told me something that changed my life. He goes, Sam, he goes, just mess around with it. He goes, you're not going to break it. You may have to reset it and readjust it. He says, but unless you do something very destructive, you ain't going to break it. Milano start cursing. Don't get upset, Milano. It's all right. Yeah, don't get upset, Milano. You'll figure it out. Somebody sent Milano a Colombian girl. Calm down a little bit. Milano, go watch some porn, man. Relax. Don't get upset. All right, guys. Let's get out of here. All right. Peace and love. Stay positive.